Welcome back. My guest this afternoon, Shuaibu Idris, former Deputy Managing Director, Dangote Flour Mills. We're talking about the challenges of manufacturing in Nigeria. Shuaibu, you've touched on two important topics. You've mentioned the issue of high cost of the factors of production. You've mentioned attitudes of the workers. You are now beginning to develop the third topic, which is infrastructure.
Yeah. Okay. And I think, but before I go on to infrastructure, you touch about something that is a bit sensitive and also close to my heart, because while with the manufacturing concern, I was at one time or another head of human resources. You see, there are quite a number of Nigerians roaming the street claiming that they want jobs. But the question is, what skills do they have? How employable are these? And we need to begin to tell ourselves the bitter truth. You want a job, you have vacancies. There were times when one single vacancy you advertise, you get like 2,000, 3,000 applications. By the time you finish screening the applicants, you may end up getting maybe the ones that you could say, let me try my hand. Out of the 5,000 that you would have gotten, 10% of it, that is 500. By the time you finish the interviewing process, if you are extremely lucky, you will get 5 out of that 500 that are close to. You may never get somebody that will even be good enough. So the challenges are, yes, there are quite a number of Nigerians roaming the street, but they are not skillful and they don't have what it takes to be employed. That is one aspect that we need to look at as a nation.
Okay, but your own former company has actually taken an initiative and set up an academy to train people and to build the capacity.
It is that academy came largely as a result of our findings. Every now and then, you are desirous of employing Nigerians, and you don't get the qualified Nigerians, and you end up, like I did say, having to employ staff on shop floor level from abroad, which is a shame. And here you are in a country where you have close to about 100 universities, and polytechnics, and people come out with one degree or another, and you ask a gentleman to give you an application, he cannot even write a simple application. Or someone tells you, I have a first degree in computer science, you give him a piece of a laptop and say, please own this thing, he doesn't even know how to own it. I mean, and yet he claims to have a first degree in computer science.
So the failure, the whole issue affecting manufacturing is also quite systemic.
It's systemic.
Because you're even saying that even the failure of our educational system to be able to churn out a skilled workforce is also impacting, because to do the side of manufacturing, you'd have to now look for skilled labor elsewhere.
Yeah, and looking for the skilled labor where they are not found. And when you look at, again, the systemic issue that you just mentioned is, if you are not strong enough to even employ, the technical skills that you require from outside the country.
That's true, because it
costs money. It costs money. Then the company is
it's not everybody that can go abroad.
Can go abroad and recruit. So the company is militated against, obviously. But I think if we go to the next issue that I found
infrastructure
disturbing is, road network or movement of goods within the country, whether raw materials or finished product. Today, the only possible way you can move goods from Lagos, say, to Kaduna or Kano or Maiduguri or Port Harcourt is by road. This is most unfortunate. There is no way an economy can develop. There is no way you will be able to sell products at a relatively cheap price or in kind of at a similar price between, say, a location like Lagos and a location like Kaduna that is 1,000 kilometers away, without necessarily having to have fundamental differences in price. That is why if you are following, if you've been following the recent development on cement prices, it will take you an average of 600 naira per bag to transport 1 bag of cement from Lagos, say, to Kano. So even if the manufacturers of cement in Lagos and Abeokuta are able to sell at 1,400 or 1,500 without adding any profit to the dealer and sub-dealers, it will go to up
2,000
to
naira.
2,000 naira. I mean, if we have had, say, a rail linkage, obviously the cost of transporting the same cement bag may not be more than 100 naira, at most 150 naira. And you can see the differences. And worse still, the road network are so bad, and they are getting bad by the day, largely because 100% of these goods are being moved on by road. I think that is another major issue. And I think the fourth issue is security. On the road, you either get armed robbers, or even the drivers. You go back to the attitude issue that I said. You put, a load from Lagos to even Ilorin. When I was with the flour mills, to transport our wheat from, say, Lagos to Ilorin, the filperage we were witnessing was unimaginable. Sometimes from the drivers, sometimes even the drivers get caught in the web of armed robbery attack, and the wheat gets stolen. And these are all concomitant features of cost to a typical manufacturer, that because we are not a non-governmental organization, because we are not charity, we have to pass on those costs and be able to see how best to we can recover.
So that's why probably you're just better off maybe just import bread and sell it.
I wish it is possible to import bread.
I mean, because from after all the things you've said, how come? I mean, it's now clear that all those statistics begin to jive. Manufacturing 4% of GDP, but despite a lot of all these things, there's still quite a lot of manufacturing companies in Nigeria. It's not a lot, but compared to the economy of Nigeria, there's a rare breed of people still hanging in there and still making some profits.
Clever, I will beg to disagree with you on this. I do not sincerely think that there are still a hell lot of manufacturers. On your fingertips, really, you can count the number of manufacturers the size of our economy. We have. Number one. Number two, when we were younger than the ages we are today, we used to have, say, Imperial Leather Soap, Lifebuoy, Lux. They were all produced here. Today as we sit, are they produced? Good old days, we used to have a lot of milk manufacturers produced here. Today, how many are they? I can always go on and on. The textile companies that we used to have, including brocade and lace materials. President Clothing closed its factory and actually packaged the machine and sent them to India, out of Nigeria.
So not only did they close down shop, but
yeah, they even pack the machines,
equipment and go and produce somewhere else.
Produce somewhere.
And import
some 2 months. Yeah, now we are just import dependent. Some 2-3 months ago, or maybe about a year ago or so, there were a lot of talks that some of the companies were relocating to Ghana. And I came out vehemently opposing that. But lo and behold, I went to a grocery shop, bought, I think was it either a Lifebuoy soap or Dettol soap, and I look at the manufacturer. It's a company in Ghana. And I felt bad that this is me having gone on air to defend the fact that there is no company that has relocated to Ghana, and going into a grocery shop to buy a product that was made in Ghana.